looks like both teams are good to go. So, let's see. Teams are impatient to get the match started, so we'll be getting underway here very shortly. Making sure I have my audio levels set up. Time to kill Monster Cat and get into the game. The Miranda load screen being a fan favorite right now. Well, by fan favorite, I mean a Dota favorite. Because on the random rotation, it's shown up quite a bit. Once we get into... Oh, yay. Crashed Dodo. Sorry about the black screen of death, guys. Dota Reborn insists on crashing every single game, it feels like. But I have it reloading now in the background, and as soon as it's up, be good to go. Alright. So, hopefully now we get into some Dota. Alright. And it looks like we didn't miss much, just waiting on King MC to finish loading. While we do that, I'm going to make sure and check my cast. Hopefully that will allow Cookie to see me as we're both spectators. We're on Team Spectator. Go team. This you love this channel? And by this channel, you of course mean twitch.tv/DarminCast, right? Looks like we are going to have a remake here, as King MC failed to load. So, sorry about that. Give the teams another minute or two, and hopefully they'll get started. Alrighty, looks like we might have a second chance at a game here. And this time, King MC has loaded up, so we are into the game. This time, I'm gonna kill Monster Cat and get underway. Uh, need to get the audio back up. All right. Can you hear me? Are you with me, Cookie?
Radiant Team Band.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly.
Dire Team Band.
Awesome.
Alrighty, so ladies and gentlemen, everyone tuning in, thank you for joining. This is twitch.tv/DarminCast. I am Darmin, coming to you live for the AD2L Season 9 playoff matchup between Firestarter and Team Resilience. I'm going to be joined here today with my co-caster, Cookie. Cookie, say hello to everyone.
Hey guys, it's Cookie here.
And what team are you with, Cookie? What makes you qualified to talk about Dota?
5 seconds remaining.
Oh yeah, I play for Darmin Esports in AD2L Season 9. It's a good time, man. I love playing. I love watching the game. I mean, just look at these bans straight off the bat.
Yep, bans right out the door. Hitting a bunch of the popular meta heroes, getting rid of the Doom, the Alchemist, the big two farming tanky carries. They're picked up pretty much
honestly, I haven't seen
non-stop.
Alchemist banned as much.
I've seen him get the ban stick quite a bit. He's being played kind of as a Naga replacement right now.
He sure is, but I think Slaughter, like banning out the Slaughter when you already banned Alchemist, like if you keep both of those in the pool, then you can always take the Slaughter and just kill the Alchemist over and over again. But they took out the Slaughter and the Alch.
Firestarter have had a pretty successful run through this season so far. They dropped 2 games early on in the season, I believe, against Lavender Esports. But beyond that, they've been flawless, winning all of their matchups 2-0. And one of the heroes that helps them do that is right there, Windranger.
Windranger? Oh
Yep.
Man, that hero is so good right now.
And it's especially good in the hands of ABC123, who will likely be the person playing that in the mid lane this matchup.
I actually haven't seen either of these teams play at all. Like, I know King MC wanted to scrim with me and my team once, but we had a match going on, so we couldn't do it. But I'm looking forward to this game. It's looking awesome. I mean, Earthshaker's taken out.
Earthshaker's taken out, but Winter Wyvern did make it into the playing field, so he'll be there with his Cold Embrace and his Winter's Curse, disrupting and stalling out team fights.
Cold Embrace is so good against Windranger.
It's good against a lot of heroes right now. It provides them that pretty much insta life and kind of like a second shallow grave.
And Arctic Burn, that thing, if you have a melee offlaner, he's just out of the lane, and you can fly from behind the tower if you're on the dire side. You can fly behind the Radiant Tower, sometimes snipe the courier, and harass out the mid, keeping them from last hitting. I mean, it's just such a good skill.
But going into the second pick here, Firestarter really thinking this one through, and you have to assume either there was a disconnect or they're planning out their entire draft, because they're down to just 15 seconds on the reserve time. But it looks like they were just planning out the entire draft, because they do come through with a Lina pick as their second hero of choice. Team Resilience, on the other hand, not taking nearly as long, as they quickly grab up Undying and head into their ban phase.
Oh man, Undying is my boy. I play that hero like no tomorrow. I love that hero. It's just so good. I mean, it's not as good early game now, but like late game,
I was gonna say, do you still like him with the nerfs to Tombstone?
Yeah, I do. Like, what you do instead of leveling up to K first is you level up to Soul Rip, because once you get your Tombstone up to level 4, it takes 8 hits from any hero. But I mean, they have a Lina, so Lina attacks really fast. But if Undying's able to micromanage his Tombstone with Soul Rip, it should be fine.
Yep, and I haven't quite learned the regenerative effects of Soul Rip on the Tombstone yet. Is Soul Rip at max level a complete refresh on the Tombstone counter?
Yeah, it goes up 2 per level. So at level 1, Soul Rip, it heals 2 hits on the Tombstone, and then it goes 2, 4, 6, 8.
Gotcha. So yeah, with
So
Fiery
what you
Soul,
do is you level your Soul Rip up to level 3.
yep. With Fiery Soul, Lena will still be able to click through that pretty quick, as well as Wind Ranger, definitely known for her attack speed if she's popping Focus Fire. But that's
You can't use Focus Fire on the Tombstone though.
ah. Well, that leaves
10
Lena
seconds
in the mix then.
And if you think about it, those right clicks from Lena that are going towards the Tombstone, they're not hitting the other heroes, which is fine.
Yep, and that's what I was going
Now
to
the
comment on.
gyrocopter, that's huge. Yeah, you don't want to see a gyro if you're Undying, straight up. So that's
Yep.
going to be, I mean, hopefully Undying's in the support role, because he's not an offlaner anymore.
And Gyrocopter I've seen in quite a few games here in the AD2L playoffs. He seemed to disappear for a couple weeks, but now he's on his way back up the priority list in terms of pick
10
ban.
seconds remaining.
And I still think he's a perfectly viable hero, especially with the
5 seconds
fast-paced,
remaining.
team-fight-oriented meta that we're currently fighting in inside of Dota here.
Reserve
And
time.
Flak Cannon is one of those skills that I think is often overlooked, but hugely powerful, as it has a massive range. And just the game before this one, I was casting as a Gyrocopter, was getting 2 and 3 kills at a time just through Flak Cannon's pretty much AoE damage, picking off supports in the background.
Yeah, it's the classic Medusa kill. Oh, I killed that guy. What?
Yep, that's the one. This time
But
it's...
even with his nerfs, Gyrocopter is still massively good.
Yep, and they nerfed Rocket Barrage a bit, but you still don't want to get caught side by side with a
Was the
Gyrocopter.
call down.
Yeah, they
No
nerfed...
longer pierces spell immunity. That was so huge.
that was pretty bad. But
Like,
the
Sven,
Rocket Barrage
I
took
can't
a
run
bit
anywhere.
of a
I can't
nerf.
hit people.
Yep.
Yeah, a little bit.
They reduced the damage
I'm
on
waiting
that
for-
because for quite a while, Gyrocopter would just go sit on one of the 0-minute runes, and if anyone came near him, they would insta-die.
Honestly, I think if you want to make Gyrocopter a balanced hero, you have to make it so Flat
10
Cannon
seconds
doesn't
remaining.
trigger on buildings. But I don't think they're going to do that change. What I'm honestly waiting for is for Ice Frog to go, we should give Winter Wyvern an Aghanim Scepter and make it so that there's no reduced damage to the other heroes. That would be so stupid.
Radiant team.
I could see that happening, but right now he's such a powerful support. I don't think he'll get too many buffs in the near future. Team Resilience,
Here, give me a moment. I gotta put my cat outside so she doesn't like mess things up.
sure.
Sorry, Stan.
I wonder if I missed it there. I was sitting there talking about Winter and Gyro, and I missed whether or not Team Resilience got assigned the random hero on Ember Spirit, because they're out of reserve time.
Reserve time.
Really? Well, Ember Spirit is
10
still a good
seconds
pickup.
remaining.
And we're into 7 seconds left for Firestarter,
5
so
seconds
both
remaining.
teams
Yeah.
taking every second possible.
They're really using up.
That's a random.
I love Shadow Demon. That hero is amazing.
That one was randomly assigned.
That's not even a bad hero here. Like, you Winter's Curse someone, Shadow Demon uses Disruption on them to save them. You could disrupt time into like cooldowns and Lena stuns, Shackle Shot timings. Like, Shadow Demon is not a bad pick,
Well,
10
even if
seconds
it was a
remaining.
random.
yep. I'm starting
I
to
mean, when I
suspect
play Shadow
something
Demon-
may
Random.
here's another random. We got a techies in the
Techies,
game.
I love that hero.
Team ban.
I love that. I have over 200 games played as Techies. He is my boy.
Worst techies
You
of
gotta
all
play Disney
time.
now, though.
RTZ. When they
Yeah, I
debuted
saw that.
Techies.
10v10 Dota game.
Remaining.
Well, yeah, in the 10 vs 10, he had actually had a year to
5
play the
seconds
hero and
remaining.
understand it. But when they debuted Techies the year before,
Yeah.
he had no idea how to play it because he had never played Dota 1, and it was
Fire
just
team ban.
a complete mess.
Awful. So my longest game ever, I played Techies. So let me paint the picture for you here. So the game went on for 2 hours and 58
10
minutes.
seconds
Our
remaining.
lineup was we had a Techies, an Ember Spirit, a Magnus, and a Treant Protector,
5 seconds
and then some
remaining.
other hero. But the important part is Techies has mines, Magnus RPs people into mines, Treant makes your towers not die, and Ember is
Radiant
so.
team pick.
What how it ended was there was 11 Divine Rapiers in the game.
11?
11. Like, I was literally baiting people to Divine Rapiers that were just laying on the ground. I'd put remote mines underneath them.
Oh, God.
And with the new change to landmines, there's no limit. Our base was a big
10
green
seconds
mass on the
remaining.
minimap.
But the mines don't do
5
nearly as
seconds
much
remaining.
damage as before. So,
Yeah, but when you have 150
Drow
mines
Ranger.
in a small area,
Fire team pick.
they do a lot of damage.
when it is a literal minefield.
Yeah, but Techies is not good for their lineup right now. It's gonna. You have no synergies whatsoever. I mean, I guess you could
Okay.
go like Techies create space for Ember
So,
Spirit.
I'm getting word that this lobby was just a complete flop. And they've recreated the lobby. So let's join in. Are you in here with me, Cookie? So, sorry about the delay here, guys. The teams are figuring out how they're going to redo the bans and picks, and I'm trying to get Cookie in the game here with me. And there he is. So. Looks like both teams are ready to go. And we will get started with game attempt number 3.
Are you ready to give this a second go?
And this is actually the third attempted game between these two. Had the first one with King MC unable to connect, the second one with disconnects during the draft, and now we're back once again for the
We're
AD2L.
receiving word that some people can hear me twice.
Ranger at your service.
Oh, really?
Radiant team pick.
Lena.
The undying waits. Dire team pick.
Let me make sure. You co-casters. Alright.
Dire team
Give me a
back.
test.
Radiant team
You still there? Can you still hear me? I hate
Dire
report.
team pick.
Let me undo that. Okay, I think I can hear you again.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
10 seconds remaining.
Good.
5 seconds
Let's see how this works and see if
What?
you're still coming in double.
remaining. Reserve time.
Hopefully
Yeah,
not.
I don't hear myself. Oh, I hear myself a little bit. Are you using speakers?
I'm using speakers and a headset, so I have audio coming in a few different channels here.
All right.
Radiant team pick.
All right, that's cool. I mean, as long as it's not too bad. But I was looking forward to seeing.
Yep,
techies.
I dropped the speakers, so in case it was just the speaker feedback, that'll be taken care of now. I also tried to play
pretty
around
sure it
with
was
the
just the
mute
speaker
co-caster
feedback.
thing, but that's always a bit of a bother. So, getting into the draft once again, the teams appeared to be just
Juggernaut.
tearing through it this time, but in reality it's because the draft was already
10
half
seconds
completed
remaining.
in Game 2 between these two players.
5
Looks like
seconds
the
remaining.
disconnect happened shortly after Gyrocopter, because Firestarter
Reserve time.
have picked the same heroes up through Gyro.
Oh man.
So,
What do you think? I like Juggernaut here. It's not a bad pick.
it's not a bad pick. It'll be able to get away from some of Lena's Light Strike arrays and the call down and things like that. So it provides him with some flexibility.
Lena will still be able to Aghanim Scepter ult him.
Who will?
Lena, if she gets
Yeah.
eggs, she can pierce spell immunity.
Yep, piercing spell immunity is still going to be on the table. And if it's a core Lena,
But
which
she's
it doesn't
really
look like
squishy.
it's going to be with this lineup, she would get it relatively quick.
Disruptor.
So as a support Lena, that Aghanims will be a little bit
Radiant team
slower
back.
to get farmed up.
I like Disruptor here too. Disruptor's good against Spirit Breaker. Disruptor's good against Wind Ranger.
Disruptor's good
10
against a
seconds
lot of
remaining.
people. He's one of my favorite supports. He's a huge
5 seconds
crowd
remaining.
controlling, tempo controlling hero. He can play aggressive, he can play
Reserve time.
defensive. If his team looks to group up and push towers, he can glimpse enemies back to the fountain and force them to walk to a lane, putting that TP scroll on cooldown. And of course, with Spirit Breaker in the mix, he'll be
There-
charging
Team ban.
this way, that way, and every way. So if he catches a timely glimpse off of Spirit Breaker, that'll be able to buy some time and space for his allies who may be under pressure.
My only worry for Team Resilience is
10
where does this
seconds
Undying
remaining.
fit in? Like, is he gonna solo offlane? You can't solo offlane with
5
Undying
seconds
anymore
remaining.
because of the way they changed Tombstone. It's just can't do it. And like, I like Disruptor a lot, but I don't necessarily think he
Radiant
pairs
team
best with Winter Wyvern. Like, I like pairing Disruptor with like a Bounty Hunter or like a Slaughter, but I mean Slaughter's banned out. But Bounty with the track and then you have the Glimpse, it's really quite good.
Yeah.
But who knows? I mean, I'm sure they'll make it work.
Well, going back to the Arctic Burn, that does provide Winter with flying vision. So
10
early
seconds
on,
remaining.
the vision will be there probably, but yeah, later on into the match, you're not going to have that vision everywhere on the map that you would get from someone like a bounty hunter.
And if you think about the way Arctic Burn works in conjunction with Glimpse, like, okay, so Winter Wyvern goes onto the hero with Arctic Burn, right? And she's slowing him, so he's moving slower, so Glimpse will actually bring him back less of a distance.
Yeah, but if Winter Wyvern's
Burn
in
is
position
actually
to attack.
better with like kinetic field.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, that is true. So, I mean, there is some synergy with the kinetic field in the slow. But
But what is really ridiculous about this draft is, okay, so you have Disruptor and Undying dual lane. This is what's going to happen. There's going to be an Undying and Disruptor dual lane, and there's going to be a Winter Wyvern Juggernaut dual lane, and you're going to have kinetic field.
Team pick.
You're going to trap 2 heroes. Tombstone is going to go to the side and not be able to be attacked because they're trapped in the kinetic field.
well, there's only one hero who wouldn't be able to attack a Tombstone outside a kinetic field, and that's Spirit Breaker.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if you get the kinetic field and then you put the Tombstone, like, what, at level 2, it's 1,000 range?
10 seconds remaining.
It'll require some execution from Team Resilience in order to
5
hit their
seconds remaining.
positionings and be able to pull off that combo. But the position that leaves open right now
Reserve
is the
time.
mid lane for Team Resilience.
Oh, Phoenix is a great pickup here because, well, I like it. They don't have a lot of right clickers. I mean, Juggernaut right clicks fast, but he's usually in his ultimate.
And if Juggernaut's out there right clicking, he's going to be vulnerable to charges, to shackle shots, to light strike arrays, and the plethora of disables that Firestarter have.
Phoenix is a great pickup.
Yep.
You know, like earlier in Reborn, there was a bug with Phoenix. So how it worked was in your Phoenix egg, if you were like just right clicking with A attack on the egg, your hero wouldn't attack the egg. You had to actually like right click it physically. You couldn't just like A attack next to it.
Oof. OP broken.
It was. I watched this Drow Ranger like, A attack. Why am I not hitting this Phoenix egg? She just kept attacking the creeps.
My favorite was when you could pick up the Techie's mines inside the Tusker snowball. And you would just...
What?
Yeah.
Oh, that's...
Venomancer.
You could just roll thousands of damage worth of mines into an enemy hero and go, you're dead now.
That's so dumb.
And so you're going to have
I think...
a core
no,
Veno.
Venomancer's middle. Venomancer is middle.
Yep.
I hope he levels up wards first.
If he's playing mid, I presume he will. So I'm going to go through introductions here quickly on the side, the Radiant side. Go through Team Firestarter, so... Unfortunately, I can't show you the fancy cosmetics with the pause screen. But we have Kupo, who's going to be playing your Lina. You have ABC, ABC 123, 123 on the Spirit Breaker. On Phoenix, you have Matt, who hearts Anna, apparently. Playing the Gyrocopter is Clar's Give Midas. And then last but not least, you have Amy Malaysia playing the Windrunner, Windranger, if you will. I'm going to go through introductions on the Dire.
Yo, do you see this effigy?
Which one is that?
Just read the inscription. What is that inscription?
Oh yeah, class.
Oh, they're 5-man ganking into the jungle. There's 2 rowing effigies, one on the Radiant side and one on the Dire
30
side. Wow.
seconds to
But
build.
game. I mean, they're going a 5-man gank style here. See it quite. They saw them. They're gonna back up. There's not gonna be a first blood there. Just gonna be an
Unless they
exchange.
catch out the Spirit Breaker, but nope, he's gonna back off and, like you said, make it out to safety. So, no first blood coming out quite yet. As Team Resilience going to secure for themselves the bottom rune on this Venomancer, and
I deserve.
for Team Fire Starters, it's going to be the Windranger picking up the top rune.
There's some interesting starting item choices here. Like the Spirit Breaker on the right hand side started out with an Orb of Venom, and the Juggernaut doesn't even have a stout shield.
Speaking of Juggernaut, you want to go through introductions on Team Resilience?
Yeah, Juggernaut's being played by EY. We have King MC, this Winter Wyvern. We have Shiro on Disruptor. And it looks like Winter Wyvern's going on the Phoenix. He's gonna be okay though, he has Icarus Dive. Doesn't want to use it though because it's a really long cooldown. I can hear you in your mic. Hear me in your mic, my bad.
What?
And we have Almighty FT Shiro on this Undying down here. And middle is played by Brave, Venomancer.
Alright, and so far, Phoenix has escaped death the first time, having to eat up the South. So she's going to be sitting on just a few tangos.
Sure. Like if she doesn't play smart, she can just get glimpsed back from her dive and die.
Yep, and
Like,
this is going to provide a ton of space for
Thunderstrike onto the
Juggernaut.
Phoenix. Yeah. Like, they're probably gonna start stacking camps. Look at that ward though, that you see that ward blocks the camp, that's really well placed. That's a good one. Then looks like top rune to Wind Ranger and bottom rune is going to the
Illusion.
Dying. It was gonna need it because he's gonna get zoned out so hard. It's
Yep, they
not
actually
enough
just
laning
dove
abilities.
him into the tier 1 tower, but he was able to survive. So, but got a charge coming out on
Controlling the
Venomancer
lane
mid,
very well.
and Spear Breaker is going to connect, but there's already a rotation coming in from the Disruptor, so he's going to be
He might be
nuked
dead here.
down, and ABC is going to be the first to fall as there's the double
Breaker's dead.
rotation from Winter Wyvern and Disruptor, and now the slowing
This guy's
poisons are going to be on Wind Ranger, and there's plenty of damage there. The final right click coming out from Disruptor,
Oh.
but Wind Ranger turns around and shoots him in the face as she dies.
Yeah, if you look at the fight recap, it's 400, it's 300 gold advantage to Dire side in that exchange there. Experience change was about but strike doing work.
Yep, and a heads up play from the Wind Ranger, recognizing defeat, taking the death, but not without claiming a small victory herself.
Yeah, she certainly got the kill. Like that game you can the Shadow Feed.
Team
It's giving Phoenix a
Slowbros
little breathing
trying to
room.
chase down this Spirit Breaker with poisons and frost, but he's going to be able to charge
Spirit
away and
Breaker.
create space.
I like the style of play ABC 1 2 3 1 2 3 is doing on the Spirit Breaker. It's nice little roaming. I like it.
Yep, it keeps the enemy team constantly on their heels, constantly wondering who he's going to be charging next.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Hit Undying skill build. He's gone 2 points in Decay and only 1 in Tombstone. Like, you don't max Tombstone out right away. It's useless.
Get off my lawn!
Gyro with the "get off my lawn" phrase there.
I do love all of the in-game audio files, especially the ones that synergize off of one another.
Yeah. I don't know. They're not really making anything happen in this top lane. I think Winter Wyvern and Disperser should just like carry TPs. If Juggernaut needs them, they can TP up there, and they should roam middle and just pressure this Windrunner. Ranger. The charge. Oh, he canceled.
You can always tell who's been playing Dota for a while. We struggle to give up the old names, the Windrunners, the Dirge.
Yeah. I used to call Windrunner Sylvanas because she used to be Sylvanas before Ranger, so Warcraft 3, you know, and Reign of Chaos.
Oh. Disruptor feeling slighted there as King MC must have misclicked and cold embraced himself instead of the Disruptor,
Oh,
who
no.
had multiple stacks of burn on him from the Phoenix. So he needed that cold embrace, and he may have needed it a little sooner than King MC was able to throw out. But in the mid lane, you have a charging Spirit Breaker being taken down by the Spirit
Beautiful
Breaker
rotation,
power
well
shot combo.
executed.
Gonna have a bit of a fight over the top rune here, as the two supports look to zone out Wind Ranger, but she's going to get it anyway. If the supports committed on her too hard, ABC was going to be there to charge them down. Glimpse freeing ABC from the kinetic field, and he's just going to charge away to freedom, leaving Wind Ranger behind. And now he's being slowed and poisoned.
Really patient
Meanwhile,
with
in the
Disruptor.
bottom lane, Wind Ranger, not
You see
Wind
this
Ranger,
Spirit Breaker, he's stuck there.
Gyrocopter was able to take down the Undying. And Lena is going to provide an escape for ABC if he wants to take it there, by light striking away.
What are the last hits like right now?
That's a good call.
Oh, Gyro. They're pretty even right now, like 41 to 38. Mid lane's about the same. I mean, the Wind Ranger has more, but
Ooh, power shot slightly off the mark. And here's the debut of the first egg as Venomancer gets tossed into a cold embrace, but the burn is magic damage, so it'll pierce through that and it'll kill Veno inside of the cold embrace.
Oh my god, Undying does not die. He just lives through that. Oh my, he had like 12 HP.
But the Winter Wyvern does not make it out. Between the dive and the power shot, it's going to be enough damage to bring her down, as well as the fallen Venomancer. So that's 2 kills in favor of Firestarter in the mid lane, but they did lose the Gyrocopter.
Tower is under attack.
He's charging a catapult.
He did get the knockback on the Juggernaut, though.
I got space created. Literally.
Yep, literal space created.
Yeah, so you have the mid on the well, it is getting Venode. They're receiving aids from him. That's what his ultimate does. It doesn't kill you. It's poison. Net worth is pretty close between their carries, but the Wind Ranger is definitely has more than Mancer. And like you said in one of your later casts, Mancer either does a lot, he is kind of meh.
ABC's not going to have his charge, and it's going to get glimpsed back, and there's enough poison there that Spirit Breaker is going to fall from the nickel and dime damage coming out from Venomancer and the Disruptor.
This guy's really good on his, so they're giving a lot of vision.
Missing top.
Kupo on the Lena, meanwhile, is sitting there farming with just a sliver of health. And the dive into the egg combination in the top lane is Phoenix and Wind Ranger look to also pick off the Juggernaut, and with that Icarus dive, they are going to be able to finish him off. And now it's time for the escape as Wind Ranger tries to flee with Icarus dive on cooldown. Phoenix is just going to teleport out, and there's nothing there to stop him. There's some decay and some right-click damage coming out from Disruptor, but that won't keep him in place. Meanwhile, with Disruptor so low, Wind Ranger's looking like she wants to see if she can finish it off. Goes for the power shot, is slightly off the mark.
Oh!
Slightly off the mark. So she's going to disengage, and Disruptor will make it back to base. Meanwhile, you have a charge.
So if you look at the two grass,
We have charge
Look at the draft. So
being thrown out on Venomancer in the middle lane as he's
Dyer's
getting hit by the Triforce combo of Spirit Breaker, Lina, and Wind Ranger, and down he goes.
and the dire side, they only have two ways of killing people with stopping TPs. They can only stop a TP with a glimpse or an ultimate for Winter Wyvern. So they're gonna have to be wary of like the enemy team just TPing out of engagements.
Keeping an eye on Spirit Breaker as he continues the aggression into the top lane, charging against Juggernaut, who's not able to get off the spin, and the right click damage is going to be there before he's able to do anything. Disruptor is there to try to save him, but may have just teleported into harm's way as the Icarus dive is going to be enough to burn him down, and as a reward he also gets glimpsed back to safety, so the Phoenix in no true danger there as ABC also charges away and cancels that charge, which was originally cast in the middle lane, but it's just to get him away from the dangers in the top lane.
Dyer's bottom tower has fallen.
The Spirit Breaker is such a player. He's just charging every chance he gets.
Yep, it's pretty much on cooldown.
There's
Meanwhile,
so
while
much
we've been
space.
focused on the middle lane and the top lane, much like Team Resilience, in the bottom lane, Klars has just been farming away.
Yeah, like Gyro has all the space in the world. Their off lane is just, I mean, the Disruptor's stacking caps in the jungle for recovery. Venomancer hasn't taken a tower yet, and that's what Venomancer's supposed to be really good at. His Plague Lord's maxed out first. Juggernaut's going, no boots, Battle Fury it looks like, first.
That's what it looks like. It's
And
a
if you
bold
just look
move,
at that
Cotton.
Ward vision, they have. Yeah, it sure is. Look at that ward vision. They're so afraid of Spirit Breaker coming up the river. They have it completely warded. They have all four of their wards in use right now. It's gonna hurt them late game. They're only gonna have like 2 wards up at a time. One of those wards gets dewarded. You're only gonna have 1 ward.
Yeah, but right now they need it. I mean, you can see it on the scoreboard. It's 12 to 4. And a lot of those 12 are coming by way of the Spirit Breaker pressure, even though he's 0 and 2. Now you have dive behind the tower, and Spirit Breaker charging in, dropping the Winter Wyvern, then turning onto the Venomancer. But this time it's not going to be unanswered kills, as they do respond to the 2 deaths with deaths by claiming a Lina and a Wind Ranger for themselves.
How is Undying gonna support this mechanism without mana?
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Hope?
Dyer's top
Wow,
tower
that's
is
really
under
fast.
attack.
Really fast Midas there. Juggernaut moved into the jungle. What do we have? Disruptor is Disruptor needs to get levels. That hero needs levels.
And taking a quick look at the net worth chart, you have the top 3 net worth coming in on the side of Firestarter in the order of Gyrocopter, Wind Ranger, and the Phoenix, who's picked up that hand of Midas, as you pointed out, and so her ability to maintain that net
Spirit
worth
Breaker's
lead.
going hand to Midas too. He has the Gloves Haste and almost 1550 gold. I think he's going Midas as well. Like they're just going, yo, we're already ahead. Go late game. We're gonna beat you. That's what they're doing. But it's not over for the dire side yet. Not at all. Like they could definitely come back in this.
Yep, and with several heroes kind of built around that team fight strategy, if they're able to isolate the Spirit Breaker and cancel out his initiation, they'll be able to turn the fight and kind of battle through a team fight scenario with just raw attrition.
See, there's Midas.
Dyer's middle tower is under attack.
Juggernaut spinning, trying to save himself from the Lina, and he's able to, but only for a short while as reinforcements come in from Spirit Breaker and Wind Ranger.
You gotta get out of there. You gotta get out of there, Winter Wyvern. You're gonna die.
Oh, here comes the Phoenix, who does have the egg, and there it is.
Egg.
So the burn is out. Spearbreaker trying to right-click down the tombstone, eventually falls though. So for now it's a 2-for-2 trade, but both teams posturing up like they might want to keep fighting this.
Honestly, the Dire need to kill this Phoenix first. If Phoenix gets
Oof.
it, they have no way of really dealing with it effectively. He almost got Venomancer there. That was a good power shot. He was trying to get Disruptor.
Yep, and instead
Anyways, though.
she'll wind run up and finish up the Disruptor and get glimpsed back to safety.
She almost has eggs.
Dire's structures are fortified.
She has egg and M's in 100 gold.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Yep.
attack.
Lena's halfway to Yule's, it looks like. About 50 gold to Yule's on that Lena there.
Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, I feel like that's going to become a thread this game. Klars just farmed up the entire lane and pushed it all the way to the tier 2 tower, did a bit of tier 2 tower damage.
This Gyro, man, he has a Yasha going for the Dominator Helm. They're gonna start stacking.
And look at where he's at right now, pushing this tier 1 tower, and the nearest enemy is where?
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Mid lane. They have to
They're not
fight.
even close. They're mid lane.
Yeah, they have to fight through a Phoenix, a Spirit Breaker, and a Lena just to get to this Gyrocopter right now.
They didn't have complete control of the Dire side jungle. Dire don't have any wards to place because they've used all their wards here. These wards aren't doing anything for them right now. They can see the Spearbreaker mid and the Wind Ranger mid.
And they
don't know
see
how
the
many are in their
Venomancer
jungle.
being charged in the bottom lane. He does have a scroll though, so he's going to make his way out.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
I
attack.
think what you gotta do here, this is what they're gonna, I think they have to like 5-man here. Then either get a gank in the woods or push a tower and force a fight, because they have a good team fight. And if you force a fight and you're this far behind, you might just be behind, so maybe you bait them into the tower.
But right now they're looking to isolate the Spirit Breaker and finish him off. He is going to be able to
He's
escape.
dead to the poison sting.
Radiant's bottom tower
No,
is
there's the
under
poison.
attack.
Dire's
Finally
top
comes
tower
through.
is under attack.
Yeah. And that support Spirit Breaker provided the solo mid
Dire's top tower is under attack.
500 gold.
See, Venomancer could be pushing this mid lane, but he's rotating top because fire starters have been
Radiant's middle tower is
so
under attack.
aggressive and, like you said, controlling their jungle so much. He feels like he needs to join up with the rest of his team in order to not leave them high and dry. So instead of pushing the tower when he had the opening there,
See it with these sentries.
he's neutraling. What was that?
Like, they're looking for wards. They have sentries in their jungle. I mean, the wards that they have, the wards that
Dire's middle
Firestarter
tower
put
is
down
under
to take that
attack.
top tower already did their job, so now they're just dewarding wards that they're not even using anymore.
Yep.
And on the side of resilience, they just lost 3 row in the river. Like, that's not good. You have no idea where Spearbreaker is.
Yep, and the Spirit Breaker sensing wall has now fallen.
You need to stick together as 2s and 3s. Like, if Spearbreaker catches one out, they're in trouble. I think Juggernaut's fine. There's a ward there though, so he might be in trouble, but I don't think they're gonna go on him. They want this tier 1 mid. They want to take all their tier 1s and they smoked.
Yep. They smoked up and they're looking to wrap around in the mid here. I think they'll
This
be
could be
able
the
to
turning
find
point.
them. They know where they're at. They see them thanks to the tower, so
Dire's middle
they'll be in
tower is
position. They have the glyph here,
It just,
but they
as
don't
long
have
as
the
they don't
glyph.
break smoke on this tower, they're good.
Dire's middle tower
No.
has fallen.
Yeah. They lost their tower, wasted a smoke. Now they nothing.
Yep,
I
and
think
that
there's
was
some miscommunications there.
well. That plus they didn't have the Fort of Glyph in order to buy enough time for them to reposition with that smoke.
It was kind of obvious though, like their lane was pushing and they weren't there.
have 4 sentries just like that in their jungle. They really don't want vision. It looks like a smoke's coming out on the side of Radiant.
Who are sitting on top of a 10k net worth advantage here, so if they're able to successfully execute this smoke gank, it looks like they're going to be going on the Venomancer here. Oh, but he
has a
blinks away, so he's not going to be there, but instead he charges into 3 heroes and is followed up by an egg. The kinetic field is already down, but so is the egg, and so there's just going to be massive AoE damage coming out from both sides as the tombstones drop in addition to the kinetic field, and so far you have 3 heroes down on Firestarter. Phoenix is going to port away, and it's going to leave Wind Ranger being poisoned slowly to death until Juggernaut makes his way over and uppercuts her in the face.
You can always tell a good Undying by the position of their tombstone. Like, he positioned his tombstone in a place they couldn't hit. Like, Phoenix did the same thing with his egg. He went up here on this cliff here, egg, and
Radiant's
tombstone, but
middle
tombstone
tower
lasted
is
longer,
under
and
attack.
it won the fight for them.
Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
If the Radiant keep fighting under tombstone like that, they're not gonna have a chance.
Radiant's
Well, they
middle
were fighting
tower
not
has
only under the
fallen.
tombstone, but under the tombstone and the static field from Disruptor. So it was a lot of
Yeah, the
AoE
kinetic
damage
field with
going
the,
out.
Static Storm. They had the ultimate from the Venomancer, and Survivor kept them in place.
Yep. And Vino used his ultimate too, so that's even more AoE damage coming out.
Money to burn.
Look at that graph, that swing goes from 11k down to 7k, just straight up. Okay, net swing. Which team do you think has better late game here?
I'd say it's pretty close, but I think the survivability of Gyrocopter, especially on the heels of a Spirit Breaker and a Phoenix, they have a lot more stuns for Firestarter,
Dire's
so I
bottom
think
tower
that
is under
enables
attack.
Gyrocopter to carry slightly more than Juggernaut, because Juggernaut, in order to make sure he has the ability to stay alive against all this damage coming out from Firestarter, he's going to need to spin.
Dire's
And whenever
middle
he's
tower
spinning,
is
he won't be
under
doing
attack.
nearly the type of right-click endgame damage that that Gyro will be able to pump out once he gets the lifesteal and the raw damage.
I agree with that. I mean, if you look at the two different drafts, like, if you look at Firestarter's draft, potentially all 5 of their heroes can be cores. It's like a pub 5-core draft. You have
It is.
Midas on the Phoenix, you have Midas on the Spirit Breaker, Lena's a core if she gets her farm. I mean, and then you look at the side of the Dire. It scales well per side. I mean, Winter Wyvern scales well late. Juggernaut scales okay late game. Venomancer falls off, Disruptor falls off, Undying falls off. I mean, he's a little better in the late game, but he's still not. He needs some right-clicking damage to help him along. And Firestarter is just in such a position to keep getting farm on all 5 of their cores.
Yep, it's that map control. It's the fear factor that Spirit Breaker instills in teams. Even if you
they're
know
trapped in
where
their base.
Spirit Breaker's at, you're afraid to push too far outside the safety of your tower because he'll charge across the map, and he's proven he has little regard for his own safety right now. If you're out there farming alone, he will come after you.
Yeah. That's just what Spirit Breaker does.
Yep, and now those 2 support, quote-unquote, non-core cores are in the jungle, gathering up gold, gathering up experience. And the shackle shot in the top lane is going to latch between Juggernaut and Venomancer and buy Windrunner enough time to teleport back to base, right underneath of the Plague Ward.
I'm surprised that they didn't just deward this ward right here, right away, because they saw the guy like walk up and place it. Why hasn't this been dewarded yet? I guess they don't have much map control, so you can't really fault them there.
Another shackle shot latching once again on the Venomancer, and that's going to be one dead snake trying to get away, but Spirit Breaker is going to be there to finish up the charge and drop him in place. He gets stalled up for a short period by the Winter Wyvern ult, but while he's doing that, the rest of Team Firestarter finish off the Disruptor, who was in position to land a Kinetic Field Static Storm, but he had no follow-up from his allies.
They needed the Undying there.
Yep.
Undying has Aghanim Scepter. My god, that's huge.
Tower is under attack.
So does the Venomancer.
Like, that's 10 strength. Oh god, like, think about it. You get a 5-man decay, that's 50 strength. But then that's all that strength and health gone for the Veno ult.
Yep. And that's going to be the strength of Team Resilience's lineup here. They have to look for these big AoE team fights. If they get picked off and they start to lose one or two heroes, they lose the Disruptor, they lose the Veno, they're not going to be able to execute the combos like they want to. But if it's a pure 5-on-5 situation where you have solid placement of the Tombstone, you have one or two heroes silenced out, like here, they may be able to catch out the Phoenix, and they are able to finish the egg. So down she goes. Lina trying to buy space, landing a Light Strike Array against two, but now she's going to be alone. And this is what happens when you have 4+ heroes all gathered up from Team Resilience. The only hero not with them at that point was Juggernaut, who's now gotten enough space for himself where he's pushing top lane pretty much uncontested. And as I say that, there is a rotation coming out from the Windrunner, Gyrocopter, and Spirit Breaker. He's bouncing around. He's hitting several targets, but right as his Omni Slash finishes, Klars drops the house on him, and he falls. So
now they're even up on towers. Yeah, Resilience just needs to fight with their Undying. The thing about Undying is, if he's in a fight, you are more likely to win it. Just straight up. Undying is, in my opinion, the best team fighter in the game. Straight up. It's amazing. So if they fight with their Undying, should be able to win fights. Then Firestarter's going to be forced to split up the map and kind of do a rat strategy. But
yep.
they got to end faster because Firestarter has the 5 cores. Quote unquote.
quote unquote.
Yeah.
And yeah,
But
underneath that Tombstone, if you throw out a Winter's Curse as well, that provides even more protection for the Tombstone.
Ridiculous. It'll allow you to get 2 decays off, that's 20 strength. If, let's say you get a 3-man Winter's Curse, that's gonna be 60 strength. What you get... HP, so let's just round that up to 20, so 60 times 20 is 800 health.
Yep. All while the enemy is
That's
getting
missing
chipped
from
down
their
by
heroes.
poisons and
Add it to
zombies.
him. This could be, this is ridiculous. I mean, this, I don't know how Undying got, where did he find this farm? What, he didn't get that many kills bottom, did he? He's only 3-1 and 8, okay, so.
Yeah, he's 3-1 and 8, so it's not so much that he got a bunch of kills, it's that he didn't die. So, in a lane up against...
He didn't die, and he has 76 last hits.
Yeah. Against a Gyrocopter, Alina, charging Spirit Breaker, he could have been picked off a lot more, and just because he didn't die a ton, he was able to find 1 or 2 solo kills against the Gyrocopter, and it's been enough to keep him in the game financially. And yeah, now he's got the Aghanims, he has the Arcane Boots, he's got the Mechanism, he has the Staying Power.
Almighty's doing it right. I mean, if you're gonna build Almighty, Undying as a offlane hero, he's got to be able to scale into the late game. And the way you scale into the late game is with an Aghanim Scepter. Got to get it before minute 30. She is done. So this Undying is going to be a huge problem. They're not going to be able to contest Roche. Well, they might try with the Phoenix there, but yeah, I think they should just disengage here. They're just going to get tired. They need to get out of there. They're going to kill them. They're going to push mid with the Aegis. They don't have any buybacks. Oh wait, no. They have 4 buybacks on the Radiant side.
Dire's bottom
They didn't make
tower
him
is
use the
under
Aegis.
attack.
There's that poison coming into effect.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Venomancer is the master of bait.
See what you've done.
Yep, and when all the
We play
dust
Venomancer,
settles,
we play him as a
Dire's
baiting
bottom
role.
tower is under attack.
they lost 4 men and the Aegis for 4 men on Firestarter.
That's a good trade. I think both. That's good for the Firestarter side. They don't have Aegis now, and they need to end early. So if they can't pressure your towers, you're okay. And if you look at the graphs, it's been going down and then up and then down and then up and then it went down there. Like,
Yep, and with that trade,
they
Team Resilience actually get another 2,000 gold in their favor and 3,000 experience.
yeah, they got SNY Basher, Battle Fury up in the jug. Winter Wyvern's working on that Thinner Cape, it looks like. She'll have it in 400 gold. We got Blink Eggs on through there. He's got a Veil. Completed Veil, that's huge. They're gonna have 2 Glimmer Capes. One's already on Disruptor. Undying's doing Undying things. You know, I use Krillin as one of my names, and I always play Undying because, you know, Krillin always dies, so when I play Undying I feel like I don't die. But let's look at the items for the Radiant side. I mean, they have Yules, 2 Midases, Shiva's is huge.
Visibility.
Classic build for the Ranger. Eggs, Blink, Crit Stick, same build. Our mid usually goes with Wind Ranger, except for he would have a data list by now. It looks like she's going for either BKB or Desolator with that match. They're all just saving for buyback. It's smart. Gotta do in these situations after that 30-minute mark.
Yep, especially after that team fight was so even in the last encounter.
They're not going to be able to deal with this Undying. They don't have the damage. You need the burst to kill Undying. The way you kill Undying is you silence him to make him useless, or you burst him down. And burst him down, they're going to need eggs on Lena. Or like an MKB on Gyro. Or they need a complete Daedalus on...
Yeah, right now, and
Breaker's
they
going
don't
for
really have a
BKB. You
silence.
got a
The only
pistol.
mechanic they have that would kind of work there is just the non-stop stuns they have between... Oh, Spirit Breaker might get caught out here. There's the blink forward. Yep, that is one dead Spirit
Even
Breaker.
if they get an Orchid on him. Even if they get an Orchid on the Undying, he has Guardian Greaves, so he can just purge it off. Like, they need to get a
Dire's top
Scythe,
tower is under attack.
make him useless or something. I mean,
Dire's
they need
structures
silences
are
for some Undying.
fortified.
They just can't find under.
Yeah, so we both kind of thought that the 5-core lineup of Firestarter would fare a little bit better into this end game, but Team Resilience they're executing their strategy. They're playing how they want and need to play, and that is as 5. They're starting to move together. They're a bit spread out right now, but Spirit Breaker, checking the vision here, doesn't have line of sight on any of them. He sees multiple heroes in the mid lane,
Well,
and he saw Venomancer in the top lane briefly,
yeah.
but Veno's already rejoined the rest of his team mid.
What I think is happening here is Team Resilience has hit all their timings beyond expectations. I think once you get more into like the 40 to the 60, 70 minute mark, fire starters, right now Team Resilience needs to fight. They're really strong right now. This is their fighting time. They need to fight between the minutes of 30 and 50. If it gets past 50, they're going to lose this. I still believe. But right now, they can end it. They just need to find that fight. Maybe smoke up. Because they're splitting up the map like I said they would. Search needs to split up the map and prolong the game.
I mean, this Phoenix, he has a sacred relic on him. But
You have a charge going off on Juggernaut in the top lane, but he cancels it even though they outnumber him 3-1 up there. And now there may be a clash over in the secret shop near Firestarter's team. There's pings out. And here's the explosive DPS against Undying that you were talking about. He gets shackled and just torn apart by Windranger. And now between the Lina ult and the power shot from Windrunner, they're also going to finish off the Vino, and that's a 4-0 team, nearly team wipe, favoring Team Firestarter.
Yeah, the real... As long as they kill the Undying first, they're gonna be fine. Like, the whole issue is Undying. The longer Undying lives, the harder the fight gets. They just gotta kill the unkillable, as his name states.
Yep, and Windranger has the damage to do that now. Between the Ags and her crit stick, she's also picked up the gem that was dropped by Disruptor, so she's going to be able to go through and deward a bunch of Team Resilience vision, and now they're down to
Completed her BKB from that fight.
just 1, and now 0 wards on the map.
Phoenix has a Radiance. That's just... This new meta build, I like it. It's kind of silly. I like
Dire's
it.
middle tower is under attack.
It's that AoE burn.
Tower has fallen.
Does it work while he's an egg? It does.
Haste.
Does
Also
it?
gives mischance to their heroes.
I don't know if it works inside the egg. I'll try to keep an eye out for that in the next team fight.
Because if it works inside the eggs, it's a great pickup. Oh, they're smoked up. They need to come back from that last wipe.
Yep, and Undying was
It looks
pinging
like
out the
they don't have any
gyrocopter
vision.
saying, "That's our target."
They have a DD. They have to go on this. I mean, Lena's there though.
They're going to find him.
They're all missing. The top's pushing.
Double damage
Yeah.
popped and the slows on target.
TPs are coming out to the bottom tower. Phoenix is gonna be there. Oh no, not on a solo Lena. No, you want to find the gyro. Just gonna let the Lena die. Back up.
Yep, and that's exactly what Firestarter do. They see the Lena fall, they disengage.
Every coin helps.
Klars was able to BKB teleport back to safety, but now with the double damage from Venomancer and his wards are going to look to apply pressure to his tier 2 tower mid. And Spirit Breaker charging in from the side
But they're training top.
underneath an egg and a call down, so it's going to be a massive amount of damage coming out from Team Firestarter here. As Spirit Breaker is going to finish right-clicking down the Venomancer while the rest of his team focus down the Tombstone. And then chase down what appears to be the Disruptor. Shackle Shot is launched, doesn't quite land, but it doesn't matter. He's still eventually dropped. Spirit Breaker catching Undying as he looks to teleport, hitting him with a charge, so he's going to be trapped by the Ancients, staying alive as long as he can, but the Shackle Shot latching is going to seal his fate as he finally falls. So Venomancer, who I wrote off as dead, actually made it out, but everyone else on his side of the river eventually fell. Now Pink's coming out from Team Firestarter towards the top lane saying, "Hey guys, we got this. We're all at pretty high health. They've expended most of their ultimates, but they're still in fighting shape." Meanwhile, let's check on buyback status.
Dire's top tower is
Undying
under
does not
attack.
have it, and Juggernaut does have it.
Out of
So
the Dire can buy back. No, Juggernaut can.
Juggernaut
He's not gonna buy
can.
back. 15 seconds. He's not buying back. He's not gonna do it. He's gonna buy. Oh what? He used it. He dies here, we lose all the racks.
Yep, and now he's the last man standing. The rest of his team has fallen, and they do not have buyback except for Winter Wyvern.
Oh, no,
And he is going to be able to cleave down the Wind Ranger with just a sliver of health.
He's alive!
Dire's top barracks are under attack.
Why? Oh, get the racks.
Dire's
Good
top
for you.
barracks
Good job,
fallen.
Lena. What a buyback. I mean, 10 seconds may not seem like a lot of time, but in these fights, it's an eternity, and he was right to buy back there. It was definitely worth it, I feel.
Yep, it was close, but he sprinted forward, and that Battle Fury Omni Slash just cut through Team Firestarter, who had since picked off a couple more of the supports from Team Resilience and threatened to take at least one set of racks, but with the buyback they lost too many heroes and they weren't even able to finish off the Juggernaut and secure the dieback, so...
Juggernaut needs to roach here. Yeah, he's roaching.
Yep.
Because 4 of them are dead. Like, 2 of their cores are dead. They need to roach. They can't let them get roached. This is more of a, we're not letting you get roached than we need roach to push your towers roach.
Roshan has fallen to the Dire.
Gold for me.
You know that trick
Yeah,
you
and
can
as the
only
game
do
gets
once?
into the later phases, a lot of the times you'll see some supports that freak to ward, you know, because it's just, game gets adrenaline driven through fights. You forget about warding, and both teams are keeping up some pretty good vision. Like, you see wards on the Dire side, you have the ward over there for the Radiant side. There's less of it going on, but
What do you think about the Venomancer picking up the Aegis there?
I don't know. I think alright. If he dies first, it's perfect. But he goes in, he ults, he uses Veil, he dies, comes back, BKBs, kills the rest of the team. I think that's fine, but he has to go in first, has to get everything off, and then he has to die.
That's the I have to die
Spirit
Aegis.
Bomb. Yeah, like it's the I'm going in, boys. Please help me once I respawn. Yeah, look at Venomancer. He reminds me more of Alien from Aliens and Predators.
Yeah, with that cosmetic set.
Yeah, when are they gonna give him the mouth coming out? Like,
I've been waiting on that one
the
too.
mouth coming out of his little. Do it on the wards as well. Oh my gosh, that would really start designing things in this game.
Well, there
It's
you go.
copyrighted,
It's
though.
a cosmetic set waiting to be designed. Alright, so the window you gave Team Resilience was 30 to 50 minutes. You said they needed to fight, you said they needed to do damage within that
They
window.
need to
Do you
win
think
within
they've done enough as this window starts to come to a close?
No, they haven't taken a single T2. They lost their top racks. Yes, they have the Aegis. I mean, they might be able to turn around. As the clock ticks, I think it's getting dimmer and dimmer. I mean, you don't want to be in a position where, like, Disruptor is starting to, even Undying, they're all starting to not be as good. Venomancer is going to start to wear down here too. I mean, Phoenix has an Octarine core with his Radiance and his ultimate now. That's ridiculous. Juggernaut just doesn't do enough damage per second from Lena and Gyro and Ranger.
And they've smoked up, and so this may be the last big team fight that occurs under the 50-minute mark. So we'll see what they can make happen with it. There's pings out on the Windrunner.
They need to make something happen.
as
with the
she
smoke.
finishes her Daedalus.
Yep, that's good.
They're
They know there's
making
smoke.
their
It's
way
obvious.
through.
Their lanes are pushing.
Yep.
See the
And look at
radiant over
them.
there? They're just, but they know there's a smoke. Like, why is there no heroes over here? Why is nobody defending their base? Why is no one pushing this lane? Why is
Yep.
this lane pushing?
All
Oh, there
5
must be a
heroes just
here.
collapse into Firestarter's base.
They're like, yep, guys, get back. There's smoke. They might have. Did they smoke over here? Yeah, they smoked over here. I don't know if this ward right here can see vision of the hill, because sometimes you can see the smokes on the hills.
No, that didn't have vision of them.
Regeneration.
Because they smoked like right about here, and the range isn't that far.
Well, the range goes to like right here. So
Yeah.
they might have seen a little bit
Nah.
of animation if they were really vigilant.
Nope, that was
But,
safe smoke. It's
I
just
think
the game awareness from Firestarters, I think. Like you said, they saw 3 lanes with
Yeah,
no
they
heroes
looked
in
at
it,
the
and
lanes.
they knew they had to get out of there. That danger was imminent.
You know, when I'm on the 5th position support, when I look at the minimap and I go, hey guys, I haven't seen any heroes for 10 seconds. Let's go to our base quick. They just all 5 pop out of somewhere randomly in the jungle and you're like, yep,
Yep,
good thing we went back a little bit.
and that's how Firestarter played it. Charge coming out from Spirit Breaker
they know
into
their
the
timing
creep
is
wave,
about to
but
be
he's
up.
going to be quickly caught off by the entirety of Team Resilience and just melted.
He broke the smoke and he had buyback, so it's not I mean, it's not ideal. Juggernaut's buyback just came off cooldown. He doesn't have the gold for it though.
Yep, and Wind Ranger
Radiant's
is
middle tower is
eyeing
under
this
attack.
top barracks in exchange for the tier 2 tower. She sees all 5
Radiant's
heroes there,
middle
so
tower has
she's
fallen.
pushing with the creep wave.
It's a ranged Rex. I don't think you go for it. I think you go for the mid tower actually. Like,
Nope,
it's
she
half
actually
health, you take
teleports
the
back
mid
to
tower
base to
easily.
join her allies.
Yeah, I think that's a good play too.
And she's able to quickly finish off the Winter Wyvern. Spirit Breaker charges back, pops his BKB, and charges towards the Disruptor, who pops the Glimmer Cape, and so he'll stealth out of there, but instead he turns his focus towards the Juggernaut, drops him for an extra 600 gold, and now Team Firestarter are sitting at all 5 heroes, 3 heroes down on Team Resilience, and now they're looking at this middle lane.
Yeah, Venomancer just didn't make anything happen with that. They just Juggernaut's down for 70 more seconds. I mean,
Dire's
he has
middle
buyback.
tower is under attack. Dire's
Wyvern is the biggest
Glimmer
problem
Ghost
for
Cape
them
combo.
right now. I mean, Undying.
Oh, but the burn is going to be enough.
Juggernaut. Yeah, it's not going to be enough. Is that Radiant burn one is egg? Yeah, they can't kill Phoenix. He has Octarine Core.
They are able to finish off the Juggernaut with a power shot, and there's the dieback. Now you have a rocket on track to finish off the Venomancer, but Gyro disengages, heads back to the middle tier 3 tower, finishes it off.
Dead. Spirit Breaker's not dead, non-lethal. Phoenix died to it. Who are they gonna push with? Gyrocopter? Where's Gyro at? He's almost dead.
Gyro's almost dead. He's
Might
running
be
for
dead
his
if
life.
Veno
If there's
catches
one
up to
more
him.
ward that gets placed.
Like 3 seconds.
Oh, Plague Ward hits the creep, and there's the Blink Dagger coming out from Veno. But Glars turns around, and with
Yeah,
the
he's got the
lifesteal,
Blink Dagger.
is up to 2/3 health. He's rocking the Satanic now. He steals a bunch of health and teleports out right in front of
They
them.
have no disable.
Yep.
Like, one of these heroes needs to build a Yule Scepter or something that breaks TPs, because they only have 2 TP breakers. It's a really big issue, this league. If you can just TP out, how are you going to kill them?
Dire's
Yep.
middle barracks are under
It's
attack.
the Bloodseeker conundrum.
Yep. It looks like creeps are hitting that range Rex too. That's not going to regen. They don't have a Tram Protector. Roshan is up in 10 seconds. That's a fast respawn. Your timing windows
Yeah.
games Firestarters has this game. I mean, They were fighting really well at the 30-minute mark, and if they had kept that fighting style up until the 50-minute mark, I think they could have taken a couple rounds here, and then they would have been in a position to maybe do something now, but they just don't have the heroes to push back the... Juggernaut has a battle for it, yeah. None of the other heroes on their team can really push back waves. I mean, Splinter Blast only does so much, and Swords can only kill so... They can't kill stronger.
You have a charge in the mid lane against one of the ranged creeps, but he may disengage and go onto the Winter Wyvern if he does, and he's backed up by the Gyro, so they look to cleave him down with Flak Cannon, but he's gonna Glimmer Keep himself into the woods. Wind Ranger's onto him though, and blinking forward. There's the pings out, power shot, going to be slightly off the mark, and Lena says, I'm done with this game, finishes him off with an ultimate.
Killer. Yeah, they really should have detection. I mean, they have 2 Glimmer Capes. You just need to have a gem. And it kills their wards, sees the glimmers. But they still got her. And Winter Wyvern is enemy number 1 right now. She's literally Al Capone for the,
Ooh, the Tombstone was dropped deep in the base.
A little too early, a little too deep. Oh, the team point now.
Yep, Phoenix diving behind him, throwing out the Shivas, dropping the egg, and burning them with the Midas. Or not the Midas, excuse me, the Radiance. And now dives forward to make sure that Juggernaut's not able to escape either. And the right-click damage is going to come out from Klars, yield him a triple kill as he finishes off Venomancer, who immediately buys back. But I think at this point the damage is already done. You have creeps pushing into the tier 4 tower in the top lane. Firestarters finish off the last remaining racks in the middle lane, and whereas Winter's Curse being tossed onto Klars, but with the lifesteal he has via Satanic, he's in no real danger, especially with no allies hitting him at this point in time. And now the focus turns to the bottom lane as Firestarters look to put the final nail in the coffin here against Team Resilience. Right after the 50-minute mark that you called is that important threshold, and that's 1 Rax down. Here comes the second. You have Disruptor and Bino trying everything they can to defend it, but it's not going to be enough, and so now there's Mega Creeps. Firestarters disengage. They may lose Klars here as he's glimpsed back, but instead he BKBs and walks away.
There's some funny little intricacies in this game, like the interplays between Phoenix and Juggernaut, and Phoenix gets his Fire Spirits onto Juggernaut before he lands, and then Juggernaut ults with the Fire Spirit. He doesn't do any auto attack damage while ulting, because he has no attacks. So you have to be careful about that. Like, plus, like with the they have, yeah, good game was called. It was a good match. I mean, they. Hopefully they can come back in game 2.
Yep, so it was a great first game between these two teams, definitely going the distance into the 50-minute mark. Team Firestarter had the 5-core pub lineup that you see in also all too many APEM games, and especially in the lower MMR brackets that I live and die in.
APEM, that's like Heroes of New Earth talk.
Yeah.
Man.
But well played by both teams. There was definitely the back and forth seesaw through the middle game there by Team Resilience as they
look at those fantasy points.
Yeah, racking up the fantasy points.
Yeah, -0.7. -0.7 fantasy points on Disruptor. Aw, poor Shiro.
Hey, that's not terrible. It's a Disruptor. So supports are hard.
I believe.
Support life is hard.
Heal gives you more fantasy points. Alright, we'll see you in the next game.
Yep, but we'll get started here on Game 2. We'll be joining the lobby here shortly. I'm not sure if the teams are going to look to take a break after that pretty long game. But I have been Darmin, joined today by Cookie. Thank you once again for helping me out here with this matchup. That was Game 1, going the way of Firestarter, and we'll be back shortly here with Game 2. Stay tuned.